What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Niners News here on 49ers Hive. My name is Zach Hernandez, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Matt Llewellyn, and today we're excited to talk to you about some, hopefully, reinforcements that are coming into the 49ers this week. Matt, Kyle Shanahan just said a few minutes ago as we were recording this that he hopes to get Jimmy Garoppolo, Dre Greenlaw, Raheem Mostert, and Witherspoon back by Wednesday, which would mean they should hopefully play Sunday against the Dolphins. How much do the 49ers need these reinforcements?
They need them. And, they might not need them to beat the Dolphins. And I know there's going to be fans out there that are like, well, maybe hold them back. No, you need to get them out there and you need to get them gelling because they're definitely going to need them for the Rams after that. And then the Patriots after that. And going into this crucial stretch of games where we're playing just world beaters. I think it's Rams, Patriots. I think then we play Seattle and then we play, New Orleans, and then we play like Green Bay. It's just a whole slew of teams that are really good teams. And so the more that we get back, we're recording this. It's Monday. This will come out Friday. So, it remains to be seen who actually plays and who actually comes back to practice. But, let's not sleep on how important Greenlaw is and the energy that he brings as far as a thumper in the linebacking spot. He's had that, it was like a quad contusion. So that's just like a painful thing. It shouldn't be a long-term thing. It's not like a joint injury or anything. So if he can go, that's great. Jimmy, this is about 3 weeks from when he sprained his ankle at the quarterback position. That should be pretty good to go, which would be crucial after last week's debacle. That would be fantastic. Mostert needs to get out there if he can go, if he's healthy to go. That would put him – he seemed like he had a similar injury to George Kittle, where Kittle had like an MCL sprain, but it was like a low grade 1, which, doesn't require surgery. It's like a couple-week injury that you can get away with. If he can get back out there and he can be effective, that adds an element to the run game that the 49ers have been missing. You look at a guy like Sherman's eligible to come off of IR this week. I don't know if he will. But yeah, then you start getting those reinforcements, and that's really important. Jason Verrett dodged a bullet with the hand things. He turned out to be fine. That's great. And then you look forward and you start looking, okay, well, week 6, Weston Richburg can come off the pup if he's ready to go. Now all of a sudden you kick Ben Garland to guard, and now all of a sudden you have reinforcements in your interior O-line, and now we can get things cooking if those guys can come back. So, just starting to get momentum rolling. The NFL is such a momentum league. If you can get momentum rolling, especially against a horrible team like the Dolphins, then, you can go on a run. And all the 49ers need is to go on a little run, and they're right in the thick of things for the playoffs. If you can make it to the dance, anything goes. So getting these guys back is critical.
Yeah, 100%. And that's 7-game stretch that you were talking about. So after next week, they have the Rams at New England, at Seattle, come back home for the Packers, at New Orleans, and then they have a bye, and then at the Rams, and then they come back home for the Bills. That is a tough 7-week stretch, tough as I've ever seen. Yeah. But I think, like you said, having that momentum going into that is really key, which is why that Sunday night football loss might hurt so much, because they could have put together essentially 4 wins going into that 7-game stretch, and now it's kind of broken up. So the best they can do is 2, 1 loss, and another win. Hopefully they get some momentum off that Dolphins game if they happen to win it, which they should. And getting the pieces back is critical. Jimmy Garoppolo, most importantly, I think he needs to come back because this offense it's not sustainable with Nick Mullins. Raheem Mostert is also a huge piece, and I do agree with you. You touched on Dre Greenlaw there. I think nobody is talking about his absence enough. He was a vital piece of that defense, and I think that once he gets back, the defense will kind of be shored up a bit as well. Getting Debo and Kittle back was huge, but if you don't have a quarterback who's able to take advantage of them being out there, minus Kittle was kind of taken advantage of all night by Mullins. Debo, not so much. And then also Ayuk. Jimmy barely got any time with Brandon Ayuk in week 2 before he got injured. So I think that's key. I really want to see them play together. I think he could be a really big target for Jimmy, similar to how he formed that bond with Debo last season. So, yeah, and Weston Richburg as well. You touched on him. That's huge because the 49ers' weakness throughout the first quarter of the season has been their interior offensive line. Jimmy arguably got injured because of that. They came right through and just hit him,
Yep.
although they were legal hits, which weren't called or fined. That came through the offensive line, the interior. So once they're able to strengthen that up, I would also look for the running game to improve as well because right now there's not really any holes being made for these running backs to take advantage of.
Yeah.
So these players coming back, they may be a couple people, but they're key people. They're key pieces of this offense, and they all have kind of a trickle-down effect to where they can affect other players and other pieces to get it flowing as a more heavily well-oiled machine. Now, Matt, do you think that what's the best case scenario going into the 7-game stretch? Obviously, I don't think you expect them to go 7-0, even with all the momentum they can generate from the game.
No, but I do think that games are winnable. So, I can walk you through them all. But most importantly, I want to talk about, how all these pieces come together. You touched on it. For the Arizona game, for as bad as Jimmy played, as he allegedly played when they were, we were talking about it or whatever, he had George Kittle for one half, no Brandon Ayuk, no Deebo Samuel. He was throwing to Kendrick Bourne and Trent Taylor and Dante, get the hell off this team, Pettis. He was playing with nothing, and they were within a stone's throw of winning that game. Next week, no Kittle. Ayuk comes back, but then Jimmy gets hurt. Now you're dealing with Nick Mullins. This team, if it can get back to full strength, can go into these games. Do I think that they can beat the Rams? Absolutely. They beat the Rams twice last year. They seem to play a style of football that gives the Rams fits, especially on defense. Do I think they can beat New England? Absolutely. For as good as Cam Newton has looked playing, he's still inconsistent. He's still Cam Newton, and they still don't have a lot of weapons outside of Julian Edelman. It's not like Cam Newton is Lamar Jackson. Yes, Cam can run the ball, but he's not like those other guys that the 49ers typically struggle with. So if you can contain Cam, you're really going to limit what he can do. I think the Patriots are overachieving with what they have, and that's fantastic. That just goes to show how good Belichick is. But I do think the 49ers can win there. I think they can beat Green Bay. We smashed them twice last year, easily, and I don't think much issues could allow Aaron Rodgers to make it a little bit tighter. But I don't. Again, Lazard out for the season now with that core injury. They had a defender, I can't remember his name, one of their linebackers out for the season with an injury. So they're not exactly healthy either. New Orleans, Drew Brees doesn't look the same. No Michael Thomas. At that time, Michael Thomas should be back from that ankle, but I mean, how effective with Drew Brees? They don't look the same, so that's a winnable game. I think the two really hard games, and really three because anyway, I think the three hardest games coming down the stretch for the 49ers the rest of the way is the Seattle games and Buffalo. I think Josh Allen's going to really give this defense a hard time. He's looked fantastic so far, but not only is he fast, he's big. I mean, he's he's a big boy. So those games are going to get the 49ers fits. But if they can get out of this 7-game stretch with 4 or 5 wins, they're going to be. I think that's achievable, but they have to get these guys back against the Dolphins, and they have to start getting them gelled, and you have to get that momentum going to go into that because, if you drop another heartbreaking game or, you can't maintain health and momentum gets stopped, I mean, it could get ugly real quick and the seasons could spiral. And so we're at a critical juncture already of the 49ers season. So the Dolphins game is critical for building momentum, and then the Rams game will be critical for keeping that momentum going forward.
Yeah, that's a really good breakdown of it. And I would argue that, touching on Josh Allen, he is what people think Cam Newton is. He's
better
been
than Cam Newton, dude.
He's physical.
He's better
than Cam Newton. He has a better arm, better touch on the ball. He's stronger.
Yeah.
I was actually really impressed by Josh Allen. That's going to be a really tough matchup for this 49ers defense, especially without the likes of Nick Bosa. Who knows if Dee Ford will be playing by then? Nobody really knows the status of him. I don't even think the team knows the status of Dee Ford. So getting these players back, and we've talked about this before, this 7-game stretch, that the 49ers are going to have, they're going to be leaning on their offense for the first time in recent memory, more so than their defense. I think their offense is going to be need to consistently score 28 plus to win these games. At least most of them. Maybe the Rams, they can kind of win. Division games are weird. They can kind of win those with a low score, perhaps. But these, Buffalo, New England, they could probably beat Green Bay with 24 points or so. The Saints, that could turn into a shootout really quickly, just like we saw last season. We don't really know which Drew Brees is going to show up. So it's going to be tough, but it all starts under center. As long as they have Jimmy Garoppolo back there, I actually like the 49ers' chances in each of these games. I think you got to take them one at a time. You can't look into them, oh my God, we have 7 games. How are we going to get through all of this? No, you need to look at, okay, we have the Rams. Okay, we have the Packers. Okay, it's one at a time, which is how they should prepare anyway. But it's going to be a lot, but I think they can get it done. Proper coaching, proper mentalities, and as long as they're healthy, which is key to everything. They got to be healthy in order to have success. But I think that's going to do it for us today, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Niners News here on 49ers Hive. If you like what you see, you want more content just like this, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video, get the word out there. Reinforcements are coming. I feel like Paul Revere running through the town. The reinforcements are coming. Reinforcements are coming. They're coming. Calm down, hold your horses. The 49ers will be all right. Drop a comment below. Who are you most excited to see back in the starting lineup?
Go ahead and click the bell and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Until next time, guys, go Niners.